continues to build, and this is what I'm trying to say from the very beginning, is this constantly builds and builds and builds until it reaches a catastrophic point. And we look at it right now, and I've given an example that over the holiday weekend, New Year's Eve, in Cologne, Germany, there was a tremendous number of young women assaulted, robbed, beaten, rapes, all of those things taking place by these young Muslim men that have come in there.
Yeah.
We've got Angela Merkel, who now is starting to back off a little bit and trying to say that but her cabinet,
she made a mistake letting all these people in.
And her cabinet is now starting to turn against her. So we got a political turmoil along with all of the radicalizations that have taken place in these areas. And some of these countries, the Muslims and others have been allowed to, and they do not assimilate. That was one of the major problems.
Yeah.
And so each of these countries have what they call no-go zones. You go into the Muslim neighborhood. You don't have anything to do with enforcing the laws of the country that they are involved in.
Right.
And that compounds the problem. And at the same time, within the Muslim community, they're feeling that they're not being brought into the mainstream of anything, so they become frustrated, and that creates another avenue for the radical Islamic terrorists to recruit within the ranks of that. And you now have second generations of literally legal American citizens and others of these countries that are being radicalized because they feel left out. And it's the same kind of a situation that went on in the early civil rights. But the political parties, particularly the Democrats, have felt that immigrants, because of their compassion toward them, gives them a massive block of votes. And all of this is to ensure a continuation of power
in the Democrats
and the control.
You know, I can understand that, but you turn around and hear the Republicans, half of the Republicans in the House voted for it too. So it's
right, because they had little pet projects that they had buried in that omnibus bill.
You know, the other thing is, I tell you the truth, I think a lot of them were bought out because big business wanted all this cheap labor.
Exactly.
So they paid off Democrats and Republicans to bring in this cheap labor. And they don't care what happens to you and me or our listeners or our families, or they just want that cheap labor so they can put money in their pocket. So I think it's time to
but one of the problems in that
push back
is that those companies, like it started probably 40 years ago in California with the harvesting of the crop.
Yeah.
Americans, the young people will not do those kind of manual jobs. And the same thing happened to Kentucky Tobacco and other things because nobody would take those jobs. The only ones that they could get to find them to fill those are immigrants. And the immigrants then brought in their families. They brought in other members of their family. And in Florida, in Lamacali, there are now 10 or 15,000 Guatemalans that are harvesting. They hired some to come in and help harvest the tomatoes. And then they brought in others and all that. So now the community has 10 to 15,000 people from Guatemala only. And so all of these things are happening, not overnight, but it is a slow, cancerous project of growth. And at some point, we're going to be completely out of control and we'll have complete civil disorder.
Well, I think it's getting pretty close to being out of control now. And the thing is, if people want to come and pick tomatoes, that's fine. But these people are not coming in to work. They're coming in to establish. I mean, now, back then, yes, maybe there was a need for more workers. But now we don't have enough jobs for people in America that want to work. And they're bringing in more and more terrorists all the time. They don't want to work, like you said many times before. They don't want to become Americans. They want to make America become, Muslim.
Everything about the American quality of life, our ideology, and all of our Constitution, all that is contrary to Islamic law.
Yeah.
And as a professor at the University of Kentucky, who's a Muslim and member of CAIR, Council on Islamic Relations has said, we will never be able to assimilate because we don't agree with those principles.
Yeah, so they want to take over.
We've got a catch-22. You want to help them, you want to move them in, but at the same time, they're saying no. We reject
and
that.
See, the thing is now the immigrants are all soldiers, young men.
Exactly.
They're not families and women and children. 70% or more are basically soldiers who are now, let me just say this. This video shows the terrorist training camps that the Muslims have established right here in the United States. There's, 17 or 20 or something. It's all in here. It was on Fox News. And we'd like to send you this DVD. People do not realize what's happening in America today. And we need to get this video out. It's free. We're making it, but we're sending it to you for free. This is video number 51 on Islamic immigration. And this is another one. This is video number 55. This is also on Muslim immigration. And we're going to try this program we're filming right now is on Muslim integration. So we'll send you all three of these videos. But these two are ready now. The other one won't be ready for another week or so. But we would like to send you these videos where they're actually videos of the soldiers walking in from Muslim countries and pushing people around and screaming, and the reaction in all of Europe. And, Sweden, they say, is the rape capital of the world. If they see a young girl, well, they go after her. And and the police say, oh, well, it was the girl's fault. Or, well, the police say it's the girl's fault. The judges say it's the girl's fault. What kind of craziness is that?
Again, they don't want to create another hostility action by the Muslim communities, so they try to pacify the situation, and they can't deal with it in those terms. And let me reiterate what we said earlier, that not all Muslims are terrorists.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And this is a critical part of it, because the only way we can distinguish what's really going is to become informed. And that's why the videos and other things, and make it a major project in your life to find out more about what's really going on.
Right.
And
while we still can.
Who's doing what and when. That's the only survival. And our religious community has to take an active part, because Christians of persecution is going on in all the parts of the world where the Islam has taken over, and it continues, and what happened here. And to think in terms of the Christian thing of turning the other cheek and all those things, we better take another look at it.
Yeah.
And work on the survival of Christianity and Judaism and all the things that this country was founded on, and the freedom of religion.
Right.
And that's one thing. But the freedom of religion has its responsibilities.
Absolutely.
Every ounce of freedom goes a pound of responsibility. And this is where we're falling by the wayside.
Absolutely. And, I think it's important to remember there's nothing in the Bible that says you have to commit suicide. Okay, it's not in there. The Obama and the Democrats and the Muslims are saying, hey, these Christians, they're asleep. We can come in and take them for a ride, and we can take their children. We can get their girls. We can force them to pay us welfare. We can bring all the terrorists we want, and they are asleep. They'll never wake up. Okay? So the truth of the matter is this right here, which is the election that was held in Kentucky on November 3rd, Tuesday of 2015. And the people that believe in God rose up and went to the polls and voted and put a Christian into public office. Okay, we can do it. We can take our state back, and we need your help. We want you to call in and get these 2 videos and get this newsletter, and give us a call right now, 893-2444. 893-2444. We are strong, and we can protect our children and our grandchildren and our state. And we need you to get this letter. This is called Jump on the Bandwagon letter. And listen, we'll get you several copies, and you give them to everybody you know. Give them everyone in your Sunday school class. And tell everybody, hey, there's not a 11th commandment, you must commit suicide. We can protect our children.
We have a major election coming up from the national level and also at the state level.
Absolutely.
State representatives are being elected in half of the Senate in this November. But in the interim, there's an election of the 4 seats that are vacant right now. There'll be a special election. And there have been 2 Democrats that have converted to the Republican Party.
Yes.
And right now the numbers are 46 to 50 Republicans. And very quickly, if a couple more decide to switch over and vote for that, it could be a thing. And that'd be the first time that the Democrats haven't controlled the legislature in over 90 years.
Control the whole state.
Right.
Through that legislature. All of this information that we've been talking about is on these 2 videos. It's video 55 and video 51. And the number to call is 893-2444. And also ask for this newsletter. We're trying to organize people that will call their congressmen, call their state representatives, and take our country back. Make it one nation under God again. We can do it. But we need your help. So call that number right now, 893-2444, and we'll get you these 2 videos. We'll get you several copies. You can give them to everyone in your Sunday school class. And this letter is about what we've been talking about, and we can get you copies, and you can sign up to get our newsletters and our videos, and just be a part of the solution to this whole problem.
We have nobody to blame but ourselves.
We can do it. That election on November 3rd of 2015 showed the whole world that there are people in Kentucky that believe in God, that are not going to let them take over our government and our taxes and our children and everything, but we are going to take our country back for one nation under God.
And that's a major battle that's been won, and we still have a lot more to go.
Yes, but we got our foot in the door, so it shows that we can do it. So I just call right now, 893-2444. God bless you. We're running out of time. Thank Ed Holloway for helping us today, and tune again next week for the rest of the news.
The truth is that in the last 5 years, we have admitted more Muslims into the United States already than the entire Muslim population of Belgium